Hey guys and girls, King Lear here from Proceed to Checkpoint, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy XIV video. This time we're covering the tactics to the Vault Dungeon on normal mode, which you unlock around level 56 or 57 as part of the main story. Again, the warning, there will be slight story spoilers in this one, so if you're not this far ahead, you may want to bookmark this or subscribe and move on until you're at this point. I'm still working on the format of videos. This one I've cut out the sections and the pauses between the individual moves, and I'm going to describe the fight as a whole while showing clips of the appropriate moves as we discuss them. I'm also not going to cover any moves which simply need to be dodged, so unless there's something special about them. Hopefully this will make for a smoother video, a shorter one and less redundant clips in it, so let me know what you think please. Once again, there's a menu bar at the top of the screen, so you can jump from boss to boss to go to the relevant one you're looking for, and to go to the cheat sheet at the end, which you can quickly have up at your screen so you can glance at it during the boss for the basic tactics. One thing, Rofl, who tanked this for me, has asked me to call out, aside from the tactics of the boss, is the trash in this dungeon aggroes to the person who is in front of the group as they run forward through the dungeon. So seriously, stay behind the tank for this one guys, or you're gonna get killed. Sir Adelfel is the first boss in the vault. This boss is relatively simple and has just a few mechanics that you need to watch out for. The fight begins with the boss and his adds, his little minions around him. You need to take down the adds before focusing on the boss. Once you get the boss down to a certain point, he will transform into his full form. This is essentially where the fight begins. Before that point, there's just a few things to dodge, which are pretty easy to see. Once he transforms, he picks up the majority of his moveset. Aside from the dodgeable things, the boss has an AoE called Holiest of Holy, which is unavoidable and will hit the whole party. It doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but healers, you need to watch out for this, as if people are on low health and this goes off, you could be in trouble. In addition to this, during the fight the boss will put a green marker above the head of a random player and begin to cast Holy Shield Bash. When the cast timer is done, the boss will limit break the player who has been marked. And yes, it does look like a player's limit break. This doesn't damage anyone else, so there's no need to move from the group or anything like that. But it is an ideal time to pop defensive cooldowns if your class has them, as it does hit extremely hard. It's also important for the healer to make sure they're paying attention to who has this green mark, who is going to get hit with the ability, as they're gonna need to heal this person up ASAP. This ability hits quite hard. Throughout the fight, the boss will charge around the arena from edge to edge. As he charges, he will leave circles behind him on the floor. These circles explode after a time, so you need to make sure you're not standing near them when they explode. Much like the Titan fight, they explode in the order in which they are placed, so if you pay attention to where he charges first and which explosions are going to go off first, you can use that to dodge them. In addition, he doesn't normally cover the whole arena, so there will be some safe areas there. While the circles are exploding, the boss will put a black circle on a random player in the group. This is the player that the boss is going to attack when he rejoins the fight. Anyone in this black circle will take damage, so where possible, the group need to make sure they're not with the player who is marked with the black circle while they're dodging the explosions. It doesn't deal a huge amount of damage to the player in the black circle, but obviously the more people you have in there, the more trouble it's going to be. So try and stay out of the black circle while you are dodging the explosions. The person with the black circle, try and stay away from the rest of the group. Our second boss, Sir Grin the Bull, begins the fight much like the first one. He will have a very basic moveset until you bring his health down low. At this point he will transform and gain access to the rest of his arsenal. The first move to be aware of once he transforms is Dimensional Collapse. This will cover a large portion of the floor in a red and black spiral. In order to dodge this ability, you need to make sure that you're not standing in the red and black section of the floor, so stand in one of the clear areas. Those of you who have done Crystal Tower will have seen this ability before. You'll know exactly how to deal with it. It is essentially an AoE to dodge. This becomes more complicated as the fight goes on and we get to know the other mechanics, however. The next mechanic to pay attention to is Hyperdimensional Slash. This is a straight line attack towards the edge of the arena, which will generate a rift at the end of it. The rift is going to appear at the outside of the arena wherever he attacked. The important thing to note about these rifts is any player standing near the rift will take a huge amount of damage, so these rifts are something that you will have to watch during the fight, notice where they are, and carefully position yourself to make sure you're not standing near a rift. Along with the rifts, the boss will cast Faith Unmoving, which is a knockback attack. Why is this such an important part of the fight? Remember that the rifts damage anyone standing near them heavily. You need to make sure that you position yourself so that when Faith Unmoving casts and knocks you back, it does not knock you back into a rift. As the arena fills up with rifts, this can get tough. So you need to keep an eye on the boss, watch when he is casting that ability, Faith Unmoving, and position yourself so that when you are knocked back, you do not get knocked back into a rift. The final ability to watch out for in this fight is called Dimensional Rip. This will summon an AoE attack in a circle on the floor. This attack will be positioned on a random player. The AoE will last quite a while and anyone stepping into it is going to be hurt. So players should try to position themselves during the fight so that if Dimensional Rip is cast on them, it's not going to put an AoE in a really awkward position in the middle of the arena or something like that. In addition to that, once it is cast, you need to make sure you're paying attention to it so that you don't step into it. Sir Sharabur, the final boss of the dungeon, doesn't even have to transform like the rest of the guys. He's so badass he just transforms himself at the start of the fight. This means he jumps straight into his moveset, however, and there's no warm-up period. Aside from the standard AoEs to dodge, there's a number of mechanics to watch out for in this fight. The first, the boss will cast Heaven's Flame. This is an AoE very similar to the Wake ability that Titan has. Several circles of flames will spawn, which quite often overlap with each other and spawn on players. You need to get out of these circles of flame to avoid this attack. The boss will also cast Holy Chain during the fight. This will link two players together and damage them every second that they are linked. The chain can be broken by running in the opposite direction to the player you are linked to and putting enough distance between yourselves. So you need to pay attention to who you're linked to and run in the opposite direction to them to break the chain. Who remembers Sunken Temple? Of course you do. Well, guess what? The mummy mechanic from Sunken Temple hard mode is back. This boss will summon what looks to be giant chess pieces that will march across the arena in a straight line from the edge they spawned on. So if they spawn on the left side, they will march in a straight line left to right. These lines of chess pieces will have gaps in them, so you need to position yourself that when they march past, you are in the gaps and you don't get hit by them. It's easy enough to do, you just need to make sure you're paying attention to when they spawn, keeping an eye on the edge of the arenas and making sure you time it right that when they are coming past you, you are in one of those gaps. Once the boss's health is low enough, he will run to the center of the arena. He will still cast his normal moveset at this point, but he will not move and he is invulnerable to attacks. he will spawn 2 chest pieces beside himself and a number of adds called Holy Flames around the outside of the arena. The boss will continue to cast his normal moves and attack the group. The chest pieces will shoot straight line attacks from themselves to the edge of the arena in the direction of players, so players will have to dodge these. The Holy Flames need to be killed. So basically your job here is to avoid the attacks coming from the chest pieces, to avoid the attacks coming from the boss, and kill the Holy Flames around the outside of the arena as quickly as possible. Once the Holy Flames are dead, the boss will rejoin the fight and you can continue as normal with all of the mechanics previously mentioned, but until those Holy Flames are dead, he is invulnerable to attack. I'm not sure if the group will wipe if the Holy Flames aren't killed by a certain point, but based on mechanics in other Final Fantasy XIV dungeons, I think that's probably a safe assumption, so this may be a DPS check. You probably want to be getting those adds down as quickly as possible. Once the boss resumes the fight, he doesn't gain any extra mechanics other than the ones we've already discussed, so at this point it's just continue with the routine until the boss is dead. That's pretty much it, guys, and from there on you should be able to take down the boss. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope these tactics have been helpful to you. Drop a like and a comment and let me know if they have been. It's always good to know that these have helped people get through this dungeon. I've been working on the video lately, the format it takes and things like that, so if you have any suggestions or if you think it's working well, please do drop a comment and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe for more Final Fantasy XIV content coming up soon. Not only dungeon guides, but the continuation of our Let's Play series through the main story on our new character Hannah Shadow as well. A little sneak peek, I may have a Sleipnir code, the code for Odin's Mount, to give away to subscribers. So starting from tomorrow there may be a little competition for those who have subscribed to thank them, and you could possibly win an Odin Mount. Sorry if you're getting to this video long after launch and the competition is closed, my bad. But yeah, hit subscribe for some more Final Fantasy content.